Newsfirst Newsline with Faraz Shaukatali.
A very good morning and a warm welcome to Newsline, live from the Newsfirst studios in Dawson Street in Colombo. And joining me this morning is my colleague Bandula Jayasekara. Good morning, Bandula.
Good morning, Mr. Faraz Shaukatali.
Thank you very much. And our guest this morning is Mr. Hemant Surya, legal man extraordinaire. Mr. Surya has contacted us and he's told us that there's a blatant disregard of the rules in Parliament. And to enlighten us on this very important subject, he's here in person. Good morning, Mr.
Good morning, Faraz. Good morning, Faraz.
Your conscience has been aroused?
Yeah, we are all watching the proceedings and watching the media release where we are about 30 or 40 members of Parliament behaved like donkeys. You know, they were abusing each other in vulgar filth, and ultimately they resulted in an assault where one member was hospitalized. Now, what is the example they are supposed to set? They are supposed to be our representatives. We have voted for them. You have voted for them. And they go to Parliament and behave in such a manner which is stupefies. Even I think even even Maria Kade people won't behave like that. So now when that happens, and what did the speaker do? What is the punishment? We all expected. We saw pictures of this Mr. Samara Singh, member of Parliament, I think for Kurunagala or Kegol. You know, he's
became bloodied.
Yeah, his nose, blood flowing from his nose, and he was saying various things, and there was demonstration. And what happened? The special committee was appointed, and they said, yes, we identified 2 people. What about the others who went and then roused this thing? You know, what about the others who went went in a procession to that place and then started this whole fracas? Now, then what happened? The speaker comes and says he identified 2 people, one from the UNP, Mr. Tevarapperuma, other from
UPFA,
Mr. I think he's I forget his name. Now they were suspended for 2 weeks. One week. Yeah. I mean, so I was appalled. I was thinking now.
So what's the procedure then?
No, that's right. Now that made me to look into the law.
Right.
Because I am not an expert on parliamentary proceeding, right? No. And then we found a very interesting situation for us. Few years ago now, this is the time when really great people voted and went to Parliament, like Dr. Calvin Silva, S.W.R.D. Bandaranaike, N.M. Pereira. I mean, those are really, though they had Marxist views, they had different views. Edmund Samarakudi, Vijayananda Dhanayaka. There was one incident, and Albert F. Pierce, the speaker, one incident where Mr. Somavira Chandrasiri from the Morotua was a large electorate. He was continued to speak at the speak, and when the speaker admonished him not to proceed, he did not heed to the speaker's advice. He continued to speak on a subject. Then the speaker adjourned the proceedings, went into his chambers, and to call the sergeant at arms and told him to remove him. Then, when this happened, Sergeant at Arms thought, there was some commotion. He wanted the police. In the meantime, Mr. Vijayananda Dhanayaka said the chair is vacant, member is on his feet, and he proposed the name of Edmund Samarakudi, MP for Dehiovita, to take the chair, and some MP seconded it. And they continued until the sergeant at arms came and removed Samarakudi. Samarakudi left, removed Somavira Chandrasiri from the house. Now this is not. I mean, it is an incident. We are all good fun. Speaker does something, you don't abuse the speaker. You continue to speak, defy his orders. I mean, nothing compared to, do you actually, nothing compared to what
So,
happened.
but you've told me that the parliamentary rules have been
Yeah,
breached.
now that's the very interesting thing. Speaker
Yes.
thought, no, this is not the behavior expected of members of parliament. They must obey my orders. They must heed to my advice. There must be decorum in the house. And what is the example we set to the people of this country? And he consulted the Attorney General. Attorney General reported this matter to the Supreme Court. So the Supreme Court, on a minor matter like that, went to the Supreme Court, and it went before former Chief Justice, but at that time Justice H.N.G. Fernando, one of the great judges of this era. And what happened? Then when this matter came up, Dr. Kalina De Silva and Mrs. Nadesan, Nadesan, those two great lawyers. You can't. I'm a president's scholar. I'm a lawyer. I don't think we can even think of comparing to the greats like Kalina De Silva and Nadesan. And when this matter came up, the H.N.G. Fernando, as you know, was a member of the Orient Club. He used to play bridge with the UNP cabinet ministers. But when he came on the bench, he was one of the most fearless, independent judges. He did not care a damn about who was before him. And Dr. Colin Darder took up a point and said that this is all the fault of the Speaker. Speaker, under the Parliamentary Privileges Act, forgot to give the time of resumption of office.
Of proceedings.
Yeah, he proceeded. He adjourned, and it's mandatory that he should give a time. He said, I'm resuming after 15 minutes, or 20 minutes, or 1 hour, or 2 hours, or on the next day. He forgot to do that, and the measures was on the table. And then also they found the others who put Deputy Speaker, Chairman of Committees, and others were not there in the president. So therefore, they decided, the Supreme Court decided that, the procedure is a violation of Schedule B. There are two schedules, Schedule B and Schedule A. And Schedule B is a matter for the Speaker, not for the Supreme Court.
Right.
And therefore they were exonerated, or if they were found guilty, they would have lost their parliament seats,
Right.
But here, I do not know. Then, when I saw this, I was gust. I was thinking the manner in which these people are behaving. My small, even granddaughter would have been shocked at the manner they were fighting each other. They were assaulting. Then I studied. Yeah.
So, but tell me, now this fight in the lobby in Parliament, it breached under which section, under which schedule?
The Parliamentary Privileges Act came into operation 1957. It had been amended even on 1997. Do you remember that when there was under this Ranil Wickramasinghe's government, where the first government lasted 2 years, they couldn't even select a speaker. There was a fracas in the house, and there was also another problem. And then a member of parliament was accused of squeezing, I must say, pardon me, for the testicles of another member of priest.
The Buddhist priest.
Buddhist priest. I mean, they were all, and then the matter adjourned, nothing happened. And everybody thought, everybody had a good laugh. Now, this is the type of people who have been elected continuously. Right? You go to parliament, and he comes out and he told me that I squeezed the testicles of this priest. And then because the priest also could not control, he would come out with utter filth. And they all had a laugh. I mean, so you can understand for us what
Right.
For us, this is why we are known as the wonder of Asia, right?
Yeah, I mean,
But I want to not tell me, under which section?
yeah, now
Tell me under which
what I'm
section.
trying to say, this is now here. Here you can say offences. I don't know whether you can see this.
No, I don't.
No.
Offences
Read it.
to be punished. There are two schedules.
Yeah.
Schedule Part 1, Part A, and Part B. Now, Part B says offences to be punishable only by the Supreme Court. And what are the offences? First, assaulting, insulting, or willfully obstructing any member coming or going to Parliament on account of his conduct in Parliament or any committee.
Right.
Assaulting.
Comes under schedule?
Part 1 of the schedule. There are two
Part one.
schedules. two parts, Part A and Part B.
Right,
Now,
and
what
Part
the
1?
former incident that I told you came within that is defying the order of the Speaker.
Yeah.
You got. There is Part B, that's a minor offence. The maximum punishment is suspension of 1 month. The House can decide. But here, this is a very serious matter. They should have gone. How can there be different law to ordinary people, to a person? Say if I go and assault you, and if you went to the hospital, I would have been arrested by the police and said, they would say, sir, the patient is very serious, the victim is very serious, he is in hospital, he has not been discharged. Remand him. Mandatory, I am remanded.
But
Though I am in hospital, in order to get a remand order, it's a very minor
But the
offence.
Speaker Karu Jayasuriya has gone on record saying that in Parliament I act like a Supreme Court judge. Any comments, sir?
Yeah, I mean, what I'm trying to say, I think Mr. Karu Jayasuriya is a very nice person. I believe he should be advised. There's a Secretary General, Parliament, so they should have advised. So this matter should have gone to the Supreme Court. So that when he goes before the Supreme Court, that would have been an object lesson to other members. At least in Parliament, when you are sitting, August Assembly, there won't be any behaviour which will create such a bad impression on the eyes of the public. So what did Mr. Karu Jayasuriya do? I'm sure he would have known this. I'm sure he would have told no. That is because there was one man who started this was, according to the information of part of the Tevarapuruma, the member of Parliament, UMP, they want to settle this. And Pranavira, the member who replaced Mervyn Silva from Canania, and so they just want to do that. But what about the people walking, virtually? If you really listen to the audio, there were names of various mothers, insulting the mothers, the worst kind of behavior.
Hemanta, I have to say this, your son-in-law is right. He has come on our program and we continue to say that. He says that they should never call themselves honorable MPs.
Yeah.
He says it's not an honorary job. You should never use the word Garu or honorable.
Yeah, I mean that is his view. But again, I'm saying this because the word honorable came.
So right now, Hemant, now this has been done.
Yeah.
So are you going to write to Mr. Karu Jayasuriya as the Speaker?
Several people advised me.
Are you going to write to them?
Right. So I'm just considering. I've already written an article to the papers exposing this whole thing, and I know whether they publish.
Why don't you write to the Speaker? If you wish to, Bandul and I will append our signatures to this letter.
I'll do that because I believe, you cannot, when you behave like this, if you think that here the problem is, if you are in the government, if you are in good books, you can commit any crime and get out of it.
Can't you file a fundamental rights case?
No.
Because these are people's representatives.
The Speaker's Parliament is supreme, no. The mandate, the Supreme Court, even we were considering whether we could file a private application to the Supreme Court, but the Supreme Court is supreme. They always say they are supreme, and we will. In fact, there were several times when the Constitution was amended, to be amended. They said we will have a Constitution that will not be beholden to the Supreme Court. So this is the country. These are the people who came here to usher in a good governance.
When you say they are supreme, when they behave like this.
The Supreme Court, they want to count down the Supreme Court. No, not the Supreme Court. We are superior. So my position is, unfortunately, we, the Supreme Court, will say we have no jurisdiction. The AG must report this matter to the Supreme Court. And the classic example is the Samarakodi case.
So who informs the AG?
The Speaker.
I see.
The Speaker doesn't inform, you can't do anything.
Right.
So my position, at least, if I do not know whether my interpretation is correct, I do not know. I say just reading this plain and simple English language, but you can add various things to this. But still, they must ask the AG for his opinion, and then the AG will prepare papers and go before the Supreme Court. At least if that happens for us, we know that no one can get away with this behavior. The way that they abuse people in Parliament, what is the dialogue The dialogue is abuse. Abuse is vulgar abuse. There is no humor, there is no sarcasm, there is no wit. It's vulgar abuse. That is what we have descended to.
On that note, we'll take a short break. Do stay tuned to Newsline. We'll be back shortly.
Newsfirst, Newsline with Faraz Shaukat Ali.
Bomb is going to go off.
Well, then lives will be lost.
Are you threatening me, Red?
I am.
I mean, a part of me thinks that you're manipulating this whole thing.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Putting you on leading. Initiate full facility lockdown.
As of this moment, the only target on the blacklist is Raymond Reddit.
The Blacklist, Thursday at 9:30 p.m.
Newsfirst, Newsline with Faraz Shaukat Ali.
Good morning again and welcome back to Newsline, where we are joined by the legal man extraordinaire, Hemant Varnakulu-Surya.
We are very angry Hemant Varnakulu-Surya.
Indeed, his conscience has been aroused over recent events. But, Hemant, there's another matter in the news. The Panama Papers have been finally released. Have you had lots of calls from potential clients?
No, unfortunately not.
Not yet.
Right.
Not yet. I might get some calls, yeah.
But now, once more, it is not illegal per se to have an offshore facility. But what happens if you haven't declared that? As a Sri Lankan,
Yeah, I mean, the laws are very clear. If you don't declare, you can have operate an account abroad.
Yeah.
If you don't declare, then you are liable for taxes. And then there is also under the central bank regulations, they can explore the possibility of filing action against them in the district court for non-declaration.
Yeah.
But for us, nothing is going to happen. This is Sri Lanka. I mean, you have.
You're being very negative and defeatist this morning.
No, I'm not negative. I'm not defeated. What is happening? Unless somebody files a private plane, I don't know whether they can do that. Nothing is happening. Now see what has happened. See the promises that were made. Some of those allegations were baseless, without any foundation. And once you make an allegation, like I know a member of parliament went and made an allegation against Mr. Gotabaya Rajapaksa, saying that he was responsible for disappearance. But there is no iota of evidence. So without evidence, you make a complaint and say, I made a complaint against so and so. And then blame the CID for not investigating. Then after the CID investigations into the Attorney General, they found there's so much, there is not enough evidence. But still, we have a
Right. So, what in your view?
Yeah.
Now these papers this information is out.
Yeah.
Who should be doing what?
The information is out, right?
Yeah.
Now, how can we get the information officially? These are information that have been leaked out, right? Now, once you come to Sri Lanka to file action, there are a lot of procedures, a lot of evidential procedures.
Yes, but
you can't.
The consortium of the ICIJ, the consortium of investigative journalists, they've made it clear that these documents will be made available to agencies, authorized agencies, and so therefore we have a possibility that some authority in this country can do something about it.
I believe so, but if they're interested. Now I believe that famous story about Dubai account. What happened? We went and, two legal luminaries went from here to Dubai and then try to get the information. I mean, they should have known. No bank. Can you go to a bank? Can I go to your bank and ask, give me the information of Shaukat Ali? That is not permitted. You go to Dubai, employ a foreign firm, and then try to get the information and they don't give. And
What about
happened?
Gibraltar?
And what happened? They spend millions of rupees and come back here.
Gibraltar?
The same thing. I mean, no, you don't have to go to Dubai, you don't have to go to Gibraltar, you go to Sri Lanka. Can you get any information? If you give any information, you are liable under the Banking Act. So similarly here, what happened there was, what moment this happened, they went there and got the monies out. Instead of which, there is a procedure. They should have filed action in the magistrate's court under Money Laundering Act, and then got a warrant on them and got them to come before. And then after that, issued notice to the bank. Then there is some semblance of rule and procedure being adopted. But here you just don't go to Dubai and say, give me the information. Similarly, in this information also, even if that is leaked out to various agencies, you must be able to prove that in a court of law. Either our procedure must be adopted.
Yeah.
So otherwise, all hearsay, because these documents can be produced in a court of law here. It's very, very difficult.
What happens if the FCI hires you?
Well, the Attorney General is very, very competent to handle this. But what I am trying to say, but even that, now that is only an excuse I give. But if you are interested, Bandul, if you are interested, you can work on it and you can bring them. But my position is, no government is interested in bringing any one of these people to book. Like what happened in Parliament.
But Hemant, how would you handle it? Now you are saying, how would you handle? So if you can tell the public, how would you handle it?
I would have got some experts. It's a matter in which I always believe a special commission should be appointed for this special powers, and then get these people to come before the commissions and declare and then answer them, and then that is made available to the public.
But we have a presidential commission, we have FCI.
But special commission was appointed for these Panama papers.
Sure.
It's different. That also I can't just say this, because I must sit and decide. Because what happens now, some of these investigations that were carried out in London took 17 years or 18 years. No?
That's right.
17 years. So London with all the positive legislation.
No, there's another matter we want to ask you about. There's an article in the Daily FT today, page 15, written by somebody called Insider. And here it says very clearly that the governor of the central bank seems to have got himself embroiled in another controversy. In addition to the 2 or 3 bond issues which have still not been fully investigated, the latest being the suit he bought himself for $11,000 using state funds. Now tell me, what can the public do about that?
We are very grateful to you. You were the first to expose this corruption of the government. I used to read and I used to watch you. What happened? That's why I say.
But is it possibly true that?
No, even if it's true or not, if you are in the correct side, these elections, I feel, we all went and outvoted Mahinda Rajapaksa on one ground. What is the ground? I mean, he was the man who brought in peace, man who we were appalled by the allegations of corruption. By paving, I'm the allegation that you can pave the streets with gold. But then we find that we have given that license, taken the license away from Mahinda Rajapaksa and given to this government. You can rob as much as you want. I mean, people, like the way...
What can the people do? Can the people write to the governor of the central bank and ask him, did you pay for those suits?
In the same mental, I believe we have no sense of honesty. We are a nation of liars and dishonest people.
But getting back to this suit.
That one I believe you can write. You can ask them, and you can write.
He may have just used the wrong card, and then he may have already settled.
He has bought it.
He's bought it, but if he's wealthy enough to do that, he can do that.
But how can we check whether they reimburse the right to information? What's happening?
So right to information, the Supreme Court has
upheld?
said that, not upheld. They have said that the bill in constitution.
Right.
The right to information is very, very important. No, that is it must be properly framed. Now they are also.
So does it mean
Yeah.
that the public can't do anything about it?
Absolutely nothing. Even if the public wants to do, nothing is going to happen. I mean, we see various groups know what has happened to the. That's why, so far as I told you, what has happened to this famous Lawyers Collective, Sunday Forum or Saturday Forum, other forum,
Friday Forum.
Friday Forum. What happened?
Yeah.
They are all silent. They are all because they want themselves to be a part of this whole concept of robbing the people, you know, and they don't say anything. Now here, when this man said, now you have always been right throughout your career, have been trying to expose whichever government that it be corrupt. Now here, what has happened now? Now there is exposed. No one is talking about it. Very few people read the English papers, and most people are not worried whether he bought a suit for. How much?
2 million.
I don't know. It says $11,000.
Yeah, I mean they're not worried. Our people are such; they are not worried. If some way they could make some money, they will also go away.
But I'm sure there's a story behind it, and Mr. Mahendran has a perfectly legitimate explanation for this.
Yeah, I believe so. But you know, from the bond issue right from the beginning, right throughout. Now, has the bond issue been resolved? Do you think they have been resolved? Why
No,
the COPE committee investigating it?
Sunil Handanetti has yet to come and explain.
Yeah,
So we asked the JP member. I'm sure. Let's see whether he'll help.
Ultimately, nothing happened.
But yesterday, Faraz, I watched this press
happened,
conference where Handanetti is saying he's helpless.
You know,
At the
what
JP
happened,
press conference.
what happened in the Philippines, the recent president elected, I shoot all the corrupt politicians. You know, he came into power. This corruption is a global thing. People becoming so helpless when the people rob. And Philippines, the man who got elected, he has said, I'm going to permit the police to shoot the politicians who are corrupt. And people, you can't do that, but they here come to power. And every time you come to power on a mandate of corruption, you become the most corrupt fellow. You know, that is unfortunate, except in Singapore. And few countries like that. Tell me one country. I mean, they want to make money, they want to rob the people. And the people are sometimes are...
And now very quickly about this passport. You were the former ambassador to Italy.
Yeah.
Now tell me, Udayanga Weeratunga's diplomatic passport was cancelled because he'd come to the end of his term. Now, he's abroad. Does he have a legitimate right to receive a normal passport from the government of Sri Lanka?
Yeah, no. What has happened here is he has both passports. He has the
Okay.
When he tenders his diplomatic passport, then I also tendered my diplomatic passport
To the Overseas Administration Division of the Foreign Ministry.
And then they issue you a fresh passport.
Right, but every Sri Lankan citizen, if he's abroad, and he needs to have a passport.
Yeah.
So isn't it odd that here's a man who is wanted for questioning by the government here, by the authorities here, that he was issued a normal passport, rather than a passport that they could have made it valid only for a single journey from Kiev to Colombo via Dubai, for example.
But you say that
We're talking about temporary passport.
A temporary passport.
You say this man is wanted. Where? By whom?
No, he's wanted for questioning.
No, we don't know. But they must go to the court. They must go to court, get an open warrant, and then with the open warrant, you must go to the Interpol and get his name in the published in the Red. There is nothing. We are saying, if you a person is wanted for questioning, you file a report and say that this man is abroad, and then get a warrant issued, open warrant, and then after that nothing has happened. No, I mean, as far as
so it looks like we're full of non-compliance in terms of
nothing has happened. Like this famous Dubai story. No, and the other.
Unfortunately, Hemant, we've come to the end of an eventful half hour.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for having been on Newsline.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bandula, and thank you for having watched Newsline. We wish you a great day and take care. God bless.
News First, Newsline with Faraz Shaukat Ali.